Hello and welcome to Ghost News Network. Today is the week of June 7th, 2015, and this is the latest edition of the Ghost News Network. It's been a little while since we've had a show recorded. It's actually been almost exactly 2 months since we've had a show. Reason is we've been pretty busy, I would say. But just to start by introducing who everybody is, as always, I'm Dimitri Haratos, along with
Michael Carnito.
And joining us today, who's going to be guest hosting with us, is
Brandon Zachman.
Brandon is a new member of Long Island Paranormal Investigators, and we will throw him under the rug and let him explain who he is at some point later on. But just to start, Mike, tell us what's new in the world of Lippy.
Goddamn. Well, we just got back from a couple of trips so far to start off the year. We did a Gettysburg trip, which was awesome. We had a fantastic time there. We tried some new stuff, and we hit a lot more stuff than we normally did. This time we did, I think we hit 6 locations for investigations, and during the daytime we went all over the place and checked out all different historical sites that we never really checked out before in the past. We were at Gettysburg College for a little while. There's so much history there, just the college alone. So I think we were there for a good probably 2 hours, easily just walking around campus. It was awesome. We had a great time. We're still finishing up the analysis from there. Didn't really catch, I don't think, too much. But, I can't wait to go back. It's such an awesome location. Just so much history. So, and then the one thing we tried, which was really cool, we were at the wheat fields, and we broke up into teams of, what was it, like 3?
Yeah.
Groups of 3. I think we had like 4 teams out, and we pretty much covered the entire wheat fields. We were the only people out there. It was quiet when we went. It was kind of cold out, which was in our favor because not a lot of people were there for that weekend, which was great. So we really had free reign of the whole place. So at nighttime, when we did the investigation at the wheat fields, we had four teams in groups of 3, and I had an idea, and I was just like, all right, you know what? Let's do this thing where we yell, ready, take aim, fire, and at that moment start flashing, cameras and stuff, and just sit quietly and see if you can pick anything up, see if that's some kind of trigger object to basically enhance the residual haunting. So we did that. I think it was like quite a few times, 3 or 4
times, yeah.
And it was really cool. It kind of puts you in that time period, which is really awesome. So we're still doing the analysis on there. I know from my audio recorder, I didn't catch anything from that, but we had 6 of them.
I actually just went over it earlier today, and I didn't get anything.
Yeah, one of our other investigators, Mike Pepe, he went over his. He didn't catch anything either. But
I know I didn't.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep trying that and see what happens. I definitely the mood itself was pretty.
To say
good.
that we didn't catch anything on audio is one thing.
Right.
It's something else to say, did we have an experience doing that?
Right.
The answer was yes.
Yeah.
We did have an experience.
Yeah.
Just our recorders didn't pick it up.
Right.
Whenever we said ready, take aim, fire, cannon shot was heard.
Right.
So I don't know why our audios didn't pick it up, but not only did my team hear it, Shannon's team heard it, who was on the other opposite end of the field, ways away from us. I don't know if your team heard it.
No, we didn't hear
but
it.
But they heard it as well. So, I mean, and they were far away. We couldn't even see them from where they were. So, for us to hear that and have another team on the other end of the wheat fields hearing that really helped strengthen its case that it did happen. It's just unfortunate our audios were unable to pick it up at that time. So,
it was a great location. We investigated. We started out at Devil's Den and Little Round Top. From there, we did the wheat fields, and then the next morning we got up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. We did Sachs Bridge, and then that same night, which was Saturday night, we hit over. We did Pickett's Charge and Cemetery Hill. So that's what we finished up, was at Cemetery Hill. So. A couple new locations that we've never investigated before. We kind of broadened it out a little bit more, which was awesome. So, it's definitely an awesome place to go. I would love to go back again. I'm going to try to start making, I think, Gettysburg almost probably a 2-time-a-year trip, because it's such an easy trip. It's so close. It's only like a 4-hour drive. And there's just so much to do there.
There is, without a doubt.
This is like probably my 4th or 5th time there, and I've just started to investigate. Like there's so many places that we still haven't even touched. We haven't
I
done
want
Culp's
to do
Hill.
Culp's Hill.
We haven't done Culp's
I
Hill yet.
I keep saying that.
The Peach Orchard we haven't done yet. I mean, the cemeteries I would love to try to do, but you ain't getting in there at nighttime. So, but Jenny Wade House, you have all the historical houses around the area too that we haven't even touched.
I mean, we've gotten up last year. I remember when we went. We got up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
and went out, and we actually did Baltimore Street.
Yeah,
there
the
was nobody there.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that was really cool. But we gotta spread it out. That whole town is haunted.
Right.
There's so many places to go.
Then my goal, is to eventually try to get the whole entire group there. We have close to 18 people in our group. If we can get everyone to go, then we could really spread out and cover more of the area and do multiple investigations and see what we get. But it's such a great place. I can't wait to go back. We do have a month open right now, September, where I'm like, all right, well, Gettysburg or camping. So it's kind of hard, because even when we go camping in Lake George, we're right on Lake George Battleground, so which we'll be getting into in a couple minutes. But I just I can't wait to go back. Those of you that are paranormal investigators and have never gone to Gettysburg, get your ass down there if it's doable. If it's close by, within a couple hour drive, get down there.
The stay isn't unreasonable either.
No,
Fair
it's not.
Stuff to stay.
Not. If you need any information on hotels and where to stay and where to go and all these, email me, Mike at liparanormalinvestigators.com, and I'll be glad to help you set your trip up there. Start checking on our website. We have a ton of Gettysburg locations on our website. We are still adding more, so that kind of gives you an idea of where to go and what to check out when you go there. I know when we were there, we were eating dinner, and one of the customers there was talking to our group, and they're like, we're only in town for like one more day, where's there to check out? And they kind of threw the person over to me. I told them, actually, we just added a whole bunch of new Gettysburg sites on our website. Gave her my card. Here, check out the website. You'll find all the information here. And, I'm sure they got a bunch of locations where they never even knew existed. There's another location that some of our group members were talking to somebody called, it's right between Devil's Den and Little Round Top. It's actually by Big Round Top. It's called Devil's Kitchen. What exactly happened there, I'm not sure. But we're going to, next time we go there, we're definitely going to try to find it and look into it. And we'll definitely get a write-up going on our website. Should be able to check that out with photos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that spot, I talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that basically it's space in between in the woods.
Right.
And that there was some sort of Indian sacrifices done back there. But
okay.
We have to definitely research that more. It
right.
sounds like a cool spot. He said it was very creepy back there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to check that out. And like I said, once we get the info and we'll get the photo and stuff, we'll get that on our website to kind of get more places, more locations out there for everyone. So, but yeah, Gettysburg is such an awesome place. So,
I love Gettysburg. It's a kind of a have my cake and eat it too kind of place for me, because I've got a family, I've got a wife and 2 kids, and so to go to Gettysburg and hang out with my Lippy family and take my family with me and go out and check out the locations and do the day trips with the boys and take them out, and then they go to bed and then Daddy does his thing at night, It's a lot of fun, and they love it too. They get to run on the fields, and they like learning things, and I'm a big history buff. I like to try and teach them about all that stuff as well. So just to go there in general, it's a fantastic location. Like I said, I get to do a lot. I get a lot out of it. Right. But also, investigating wise, it's one of the most fun places I've investigated outside of Long Island. And I say outside of Long Island because we investigate a lot of locations here. But it really is. It's fantastic. There's so much to do. You think you can cover it. There's no way you can cover it in one trip or 2 trips. It needs multiple viewings. And also, once you go there, and you get an experience. Now you're like, oh, now how do I do this? Do I ignore this location for a new location, or do I go back because I'm already getting evidence there?
Right.
And it puts you in like, how do I plan this out? We had some really great experiences when we were there. I know Shannon in Devil's Den was taking photos, and we were feeling like somebody was like kind of like running in between. We were in the den. We were inside the rocks, and outside the rocks we could see what looked like somebody moving back and forth. Remember that, Peppy?
I do remember that.
And Shannon was taking pictures, and she's got a photo. She's going to bring it to me soon so I can take a look at it better. But it looks like somebody's laying on the ground right there where somebody could have been killed. It looks like somebody was just straight up knocked out on the ground. It was pretty cool.
It's definitely a weird vibe.
She's got some interesting photos from Gettysburg when we went. So
Yeah,
I know. Also, what was the other one at? Was it at Pickett's Charge? She got a really interesting photo as well that I'm sure I'll just talk about it now. I can't wait to get them on our website and Facebook and start sharing them with everybody else. But we just want to go through them and make sure they are authentic before we post them up. So that's a long process for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like somebody's standing right there. You can see the whole side silhouette. You see like the feet, and there's nobody out there. We're out there right before they're closing, and then we book out of there to go to wherever we got to go next, because it's illegal to be there past 10.
Right.
It's federal land. You don't want to be there after hours. But the nice thing is, it gets dark at 8 when you go in March.
Right.
So you can get a solid 2-hour investigation and go into locations. So that's what we do, and we make well with it. Yeah, so, I don't know. I love Gettysburg.
Me too.
Yep.
Had some really cool experiences there. Can't wait to have more experiences there. So,
Brandon, have you ever been to Gettysburg or no?
I've been to Gettysburg when I was younger on a field trip. I can only imagine going there. I'm such a history buff, so like I would eat that up. Like,
without a doubt. How old were you when you went there?
I think I was like 14.
Yeah, I was like in 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't remember it, and like going back as an adult, and you're a lot older, you can appreciate it more. It's like, wow, this is awesome.
I just remember being in awe. Like you see buildings with like still like the bullet holes and stuff in
absolutely.
it. It's just like it's just to know like how like the significance of all the stuff that happened there is just, and all the loss and devastation there too. I can only imagine what kind of paranormal activity goes on around there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most haunted in the world, they claim. I don't think it's number 1 on the list, but it's definitely within the top 10 in the world. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to go back. It's even putting the paranormal aside, like you said, the history alone. You just go there for the history alone. It's awesome. When you add the paranormal, and for us, it's like
icing on the cake.
We're like kids in a candy shop. But,
I went once with you guys. And it was like,
that was
it.
You can't get enough of it.
hooked.
Like my dad says it too. He's like, every year I book these trips, and he's like, where you going? I'm like, oh, we're going to Gettysburg again. He's like, again? You get tired of that place? I'm like, hell's no. I'm like, nah, it's like one of like the best places to go.
Sign me up whenever it's up next.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So, but,
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, but anything you want to add to Gettysburg or?
Anything do I want to add to Gettysburg? They have a really great American buffet there.
They do.
That we go to
Pickett's Charge buffet.
Pickett's Charge buffet. That's the one.
Every time.
Every time.
I always have to stop at the Dairy Queen and get myself a Blizzard.
Yeah.
We have rituals
Healthy.
in Gettysburg that we have to do.
Yeah, we do.
Not sacrificial ones.
They might be.
Ice cream rituals.
Food rituals.
Food rituals.
buffet,
Perkins.
Everything.
Perkins.
We don't have
Perkins.
For those of you that listen outside of New York State, we don't have Perkins, okay? And that place is fantastic, and we need more of them.
Yeah, we do.
We went to Friendly's too.
Friendly's.
Friendly's is everywhere.
Yeah.
There's someone on the West Coast be like, we don't have Friendly's over here.
They didn't have Friendly's in Colorado.
No Friendly's in
I didn't see
Colorado?
any.
I mean, they're not missing that much in the friendlies department. I mean,
No, they're not.
Not at all.
They're not. All right, so that's Gettysburg.
Yeah, good stuff.
Then
And
Lake George.
We just got back a couple weeks ago from Lake George. Lake George, when we go there, we do usually the camping. It's like on Lake George Battleground. Another awesome time. We got there early and we toured the battlefield, which was awesome, and we checked out Caldwell Cemetery. A lot of you guys haven't checked that out, so I wanted to bring you over there. We checked out a couple of, they have all these little locations that are supposedly haunted, so we checked out a couple of those places and stuff, and we came up with an idea. It was after Gettysburg, unfortunately, because I can't wait to go back to Gettysburg and do this. But we came up with an idea of, one of our biggest safety thing is never investigate alone. And there's multiple reasons. Number one, obviously, safety reasons. If you get hurt. Number two is if you have an experience. Unfortunately, if one of your piece of equipment, if the K2 meter goes off and you don't have a camera to prove that, it's just a personal experience. You can't really use that as hard evidence. But what we decided to do was to kind of enhance the experiences. We're all going to these trips. We're paying money to go on these trips, and what we're trying to do is trying to draw out more paranormal activity. So with Lake George Battleground, this is when we first started it. We decided we're going to go out there and we're going to break up into groups of two, and then that group of two is going to separate. So every person will be investigating alone, by themselves, and we'll be doing a 20-minute rotation. Everyone will have their own equipment and stuff, and but you're still within distance. So, if somebody has a problem where it's an emergency, you're literally within walking distance from it. So it's not like you're super far away. You're pretty close to each other for the most part. And so we did this at Lake George Battleground, and we broke up into our groups and went by ourselves, and it was interesting. Only because in the past when we've gone in there with multiple people, when I'm talking groups of people like a group of 6, there's been times when we called the investigation because it was so intense. So going there for the first time to do this, I was just like, I don't know how this is going to pan out. This can end real bad. So we made it through the night. We did a 2-hour investigation, and we did a rotation to 6 different locations and 20 minutes every location. So it was awesome. I had a fantastic time. It was great. The craziest thing is that one of the spots, there's a statue of an Indian drinking water, and all of us got experiences and felt uneasy at that spot, which was weird because it was after the investigations when we all talked about it, and we were all like, yeah, that was the one spot that was really creepy. So it's pretty wild when you do stuff like that, because then you can kind of, why is it that spot with all of us investigating by ourselves feel like there was something there? To me, that's like really good, credible evidence that something's going on there. I used the PSP-7 Spirit Box. We're still new at it, but I used it the whole night at each location for a couple minutes. And when I got to the section where the statue was, I was facing the statue, and it's going, it's scanning. I'm scanning AM signals, and the same voice is coming on in the beginning, and I couldn't really understand what it was saying at first. And then it says, "Look behind you." So I look behind me, like, what's behind me? And it goes, "Dimitri." And sure enough, the team that was behind us was Dimitri and Hansen at the time. So it was
My name is not a name that's said frequently on the radio.
Especially on an AM station.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I'm going to try to clean it up, and hopefully we'll be able to play that for you guys in the future. But it was definitely a cool experience. I was also in the gazebo area by myself, and nothing happened paranormal, but I'm sitting there. I have Jake behind me, so it's not like I feel like I'm being watched. So the person that's behind me, I know somebody's behind me, and then I have a group to my left, a group to my right, and then kind of in front of me is kind of open. So I'm sitting there by myself. I'm doing a little EVP session. I start hearing like a walking on like the leaves in the woods. So I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's coming closer to me, until it got like right up to the wall. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? And that's exactly what I say in my audio. And I'm by myself. So I get up, I turn my flashlight on, and sure enough, it was just a skunk. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, get out of here, But
you bastard.
It's even though it wasn't paranormal, it still got that that adrenaline flowing, which was pretty cool. You got to take all aspects into this, whether it be the living or the dead, So, but I had a fantastic time. And unfortunately, it rained half the time when we were there, but we made the best of it.
We had a pretty awesome time in the rain.
Huge props. Big shout out to Hanson and Jake. We're sitting there Saturday night. It's pouring out. These guys are like, man, we're hungry. I'm like, build a fire, man. So they go out there and they bang this fire out. They built a fire. They're like cooking on it. I'm like, this is awesome. So shout out to both of those guys, man.
I was so tired that night.
You passed out. I think,
I was done. I was falling asleep when we were playing cards, and I was just like, guys, I'm done. I'm out. And then they were like, come on, help me build this fire. I was like, screw you guys. I did this last year. You're on your own now.
I still wish I could have went with you guys.
Are you coming to the next one?
Lake George at end of August?
Yes.
I'm trying to.
Beginning of August, yeah.
Beginning of August.
Siege Week. Siege Week. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I know, just to jump in with doing Lake George and doing the battlefield and doing the single rotations, I'll just kind of jump into my experiences there because I had a few. When we first got into the battleground, me and Hanson were the farthest out from the rest of the team. We were in Fort George. And I dropped Hanson off in front of Fort George and past Fort George, and it's just like basically just a rock formation. That's all that's left.
Right.
But I went all the way down to the end of it, and there's this open field. It's kind of like a parking lot. It's not a physical parking lot, but it's just an open asphalt area. So I stayed on the asphalt trail, and I went there. There was nobody there. Then I'm looking through the woods, just looking around, and all of a sudden I see this blue light just kind of like looking around and moving and going down the pathway, but not on a path. It's in the woods. It's in the woods. So I'm moving down and I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's got to be a person with a flashlight. It's got to be. And so I went back and I actually got Hanson for safety reasons because I don't know who was in that. Right. Whoever's walking through those woods by themselves is a freaking lunatic. So God only knows what was going on. The park rangers aren't going in there. And I'll say this, I know exactly where the park rangers were because I was on their frequency by accident, and nice. I know they were all in base eating pizza. Right. So once we switched stations, I didn't know where they were, but at that point, it happened like right after we had changed. So I'm standing there and I'm just watching it. So I finally go and I get Hanson. I'm like, Hanson, you got to check this out, man. I need a second pair of eyes on this. So we're watching it. It's just coming all the way down the path, and it's looking around. It's not like everyone's like, oh, is it a lightning bug? No, it was consistent. First of all, it wasn't like a yellowish amber. It was a bluish white light. And it was just moving around the pathway. And we just are just watching it go. And we're like, there's no audible sound from it. That is what is making me guess that it could be something other than a person. Right. Because there's no path in there. It's all woods. You're stepping on leaves, you're stepping on brush, you're stepping on twigs. There's no way you're walking through those woods and not making a sound. I don't care how good you are, I don't care where you came from, unless you're a military sniper guy, you're gonna make sound. So that was the weirdest thing, and it got to the point where it was almost at the end, and me and Hanson were kind of like behind Fort George, but like where we could see, nothing came out. Nothing came out of the woods, and we don't know where it went. It just kind of stopped. We were thinking maybe it was a will-o'-the-wisp or something like that, and I just don't know. So at that point, we're separate. By this time, this is like literally through the entire 40 minutes that we're there. Me and Hanson are together when you guys were switching, because we're watching this thing. And then finally, and I remember I told Hanson whenever we were doing the day trip, we're walking, and I was just like, I don't know why, something's going on in this corner. And Hanson said whenever I left him alone, he was like, he was getting movement and shit right from where I told him that he was probably going to get an experience.
Awesome.
But, what is that? That could be, planting in his head. But,
could be.
But anyway, we were on our way back to walk to switch with you guys. And right before then, we're standing there. We're just watching this red light, this reddish light just floating back and forth. Not in the woods, separate, standing outside the woods. And as we get closer to it, it moves back. As we move back, it moves around. And that, we think, was a true will-o'-the-wisp. It was just doing its thing, trying to, guide us where the path was, kind of a thing.
Right. And
as we approached it, just disappeared. And we're walking to meet up with you guys, heading towards the field hospital and the main statue area. I can't remember what the statue's called. But we're heading back down that way. And as I'm walking, I see this man of gray walking outside the thing parallel to us. And I look and I'm like, Hanson, that's the guy right there. And Hanson looks. We look at the guy. He literally fades away in front of both of our eyes.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, oh, maybe that's not the guy who was in the woods.
Nice.
It was just it was a gray man who was just walking.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it was clear as day. You couldn't make out physical features on him, but it was just like this gray shadow just walking down the path, and you just watched it just disappear in front of you. Both of us. Hanson was just like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" I'm like, "Who the hell just pointed it down to you?" You know. So then we went down to the field hospital. I didn't have any experiences at the field hospital, but then I was at the main statue there. And when I was at the main statue, I was doing an Ovilus 4 session. And while I was running the Ovilus, I was getting this weird feeling of like somebody was being stabbed. I don't know why. I'm not psychic. Shannon tells me I am. I try not to listen to her. She's trying to recruit me for her evil psychic deeds. No. Editor's note: we do not believe psychics are evil. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so I'm getting this weird feeling. I felt like a woman was being attacked, stuff like that. And so I was just like, all right, whatever. So let me start this session. I was like, is there anybody here with me? Can you tell me who you are? And then through the Ovilus, I get almost instantly 2 words. It says channeling Sally, and I was like, all right, that's interesting because channeling. We're saying that, with the Ovilus, it's using the environment, conditions around it in order to communicate, so that would be a form of channeling. Mm-hmm. And then it said that the name was Sally, and I was feeling like a woman was around, so it's the first time ever using the Ovilus where I raised my eyebrow a little and said, okay, this could be something.
The thing with the Ovilus, too, like, how many minutes were your sessions?
My sessions were 5 minutes.
5 minutes. It's not like we're out investigating and we have this thing on for 4 hours and it's spitting out words the whole time and this is the only part we're telling you. Literally, we do like 3 to 5 minute sessions when we do the Ovilus, PSB7, or the EchoVox. So right there, by just using that device, the whole option of trying to even capture something in that time, especially with the Ovilus, because it's 90-something% of the times that thing spits out words is just bullshit anyway. So the odds of it spitting out words that you can actually use and pertain to the location. So it's something that we'll probably try to use next time we go back.
Right.
I don't think I would sit there and be like, oh, it's haunted because it said that. No.
I don't think
now
it's
we
just
can
the
try
only
to use
thing
that name and EVPs maybe in the future.
Right.
Let's see what we
it's
get.
It's the first time where I felt like I may have gotten something similar to what I consider an answer. So that was interesting.
Did you use any of the modes on the Ovilus?
I just did dictionary mode.
Just dictionary?
I just messed with dictionary mode. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the phonetic mode.
It sucks.
Because it doesn't actually make words.
No, not at all.
It's your brain is matrixing so bad at that point, you can make it to sound whatever you want it to be. And I'm not a big fan of phonetic.
Yeah.
Dictionary, I can kind of work with a little bit, but even then, true and false is a complete disaster. Let's not get. We'll start a whole new argument about it. We'll go on for an hour just arguing about the Ovilus 4.
Yeah.
$350 machine that just tells you what you want to hear.
380.
Sorry.
It doesn't even tell me what I want to hear. That's the freaking problem, man. At least if it told me what I want to hear, I'd be like, all right, it's worth
the other thing that's frustrating about it is that we're starting. Is you can time it. You can time when it's going to give you words to a T. Depending on the location or what the environmental conditions are, you're going to get an answer on the Ovilus 4 every, let's say, 45 seconds when we timed it the last time. We're like, hey, 45 seconds, Mike would set his clock. He's like 43, 44, and he'd point, and it would speak.
And the best thing is it always spits out. It might spit out, like, depending on once you start rolling it, it'll spit out two words every time, or 3 words, depending on the environmental conditions. That's how many words it's going to spit out every time, though. So, like, if we have it down, we're in investigation, and every 45 minutes it's spitting out 2 words. Every 45 minutes, this thing's literally going to pump out 2 words every single time. And it's just like, that's why I can't buy into that, because it's so
programmed. It's so programmed.
Right. It's like, I don't know, I can't, I don't buy into it.
Yeah, jury's still out. But that was one interesting thing I can say that I'll tip my hat to. But then that was the only thing that happened there. Gazebo was totally quiet, had nothing going on there really. Did another session of the Ovilus 4, nothing really came through with that. And then it was at the drinking fountain where everybody had experiences,
Yeah.
the Indian drinking statue. And while I'm there, first of all, it was just, the feeling was so overwhelming in general. And while I'm getting this overwhelming feeling, I'm feeling what sounds like people rushing out of the woods, coming at you. Like people are just charging right at you. And so I actually took a couple steps back because I felt like somebody was literally going to jump out of those woods.
Right.
And while I'm standing there, backing up a little bit, and then I'm hearing footsteps behind me, and so I'm walking back and forth, and Hanson's watching me from the gazebo. He's like, this guy's fucking lost it. He's pacing, he's freaking
That's
out.
how Jake was.
And I was
too,
just like,
because
no,
I see his
I'm
light,
hearing
and he's
stuff.
back and forth.
I was hearing stuff moving around, so I'm trying to follow it.
Right.
And that's what I was telling him. And it was funny because he was doing the same exact thing I was doing. You just see him pacing. He's trying to find where the sounds are coming
I think
from.
everyone did that because when I was over there, I saw Jake do it, and then like when I was over by the field hospital, I saw Shannon and Teresa back there. So when I went over there, I specifically was like, you know what? I'm planting myself right here, and I'm not fucking moving.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I did not move. I just stood right there the entire time. And but it was funny watching everyone. So,
we're trying to track it down, find where the sounds are coming from. And at one point, I literally felt, and I didn't see anybody. There was nobody there, but I looked over and I felt like someone was just gonna like jump me from the side.
Right.
And so I was honestly getting frustrated at this point. I was getting emotionally frustrated. I was just like, come on already with this fucking feeling of being bum rushed. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, this is how, the Indians fought and stuff like that. It was all guerrilla warfare, so it makes sense to have feelings like that there. So as I'm talking to Hanson, as we're switching, I'm getting ready to go to the gazebo, and he's getting ready to go to the fountain. I kind of just gave him a little rundown of what's going on.
Right.
And as we're standing there, we hear somebody say, shh, like shush us really, really loud. And I was like, you shut up! Because I was just so frustrated at that point.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not the boss of me!
That's funny.
And then Hanson's like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, have fun with that, Hanson.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, it was pretty cool. I such a great time.
Yeah.
Great experience. I enjoyed investigating by myself.
Yep.
I really wish I could have spent more time in Fort George by myself.
Right.
But, unfortunately, with that light, I was really concerned there was a human being in there doing God knows what. And so, just for safety's sake, we stuck together, me and Hanson.
You saw the light moving?
The whole way. Never turned off.
I had a similar experience.
Never turned off.
Camping somewhere else in Pennsylvania when I was younger. So
Really?
Really?
You would see a light, but no matter how close you got to it,
You couldn't
it
get
would
close
get
enough.
further away
Yeah.
from you. It
This
looked
thing
like
was.
a lantern.
Yeah, and we're just sitting there, and it's just walking down the path, and it would like stop, and it would turn this way, it would turn that way, go down, and go up, and it would just keep moving,
Weird.
like somebody was walking with a flashlight,
We got that
but
at Shep
making
Jones
no
once.
audible sound.
We got that at Shep Jones once.
We did.
When we're standing at the tree at Shep Jones, and you're looking into the woods, like
Right.
opposite from the road.
I remember.
We like one of the first times we were there, we saw it looked like somebody, and it was like two lights. Somebody with like two flashlights with LEDs coming straight at us, but you don't hear any movement in the woods. And the next day we went back there and did a day trip, and I'm like, where do those pathways run in the woods? They run parallel to where we were, so it's not like you can walk straight at us.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
So it's very similar, and I don't know what the hell that is, but
I remember me and a former investigator were dropped off. You dropped us off
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And we were there, and we were at, now we're talking about Shep Jones, but we were at Shep Jones, and we felt like somebody was in the woods.
Mhm.
And you could hear the chatter and the walking around, and then we go back into the woods, and you hear someone getting closer. Nobody ever came.
Yep.
But we went further into we got lost in the woods. Forget that. That's a whole other story. And it was really funny because when we got lost in the woods, we came out and then we were like, "What's that? Is that a sign?" And it says, "You are here." I'm like, "You."
Yeah.
But that was also an awesome
We'll have to
experience.
look
But
into that phenomenon. And see
I'm
what
really
that's all
interested
about.
into what that is
Right.
because there was something there. I want to say it was a human being, but for it to be moving around that much and not make a sound,
Yeah.
it's.
You know what we should do next time we go
it's
back
not,
is
I
set
don't know.
up.
I don't think it's possible.
We should look into getting like another trail camera, and maybe setting up a couple of those, and see if we can if we catch it, try to corner it into that
Right.
Have one person go on one side, another person, and try to bring it into that area and see if you can capture it that way. Instead of a motion sensor maybe in the area.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we could probably try to do. I mean, we're going back in Siege Week in August. So that's something we can definitely try to set up. I want to try to set traps next time we go back.
Yeah.
So we're going to have probably another, like we had 6 people with us this time. We're probably going to have close to 10 people. So we could really cover the whole place well.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to look into that. But yeah, I mean, good times. We went to Fort William Henry during the daytime, Sunday morning.
Yep.
So that was always great. I gave a tour, showed everyone, because we had a couple new people that had never been there before. So I went through all of Fort William Henry and all of their, the historic part, and then the whole haunted part and where everything happens. So, but yeah, we had a great time. Such an awesome trip. Can't wait to go back. Cannot wait to go back. So, but yeah, anything else you want to add to Lake George?
The bowling alley was super cheap.
The bowling alley is mad cheap.
I saw that. I was jealous when I saw that.
It was awesome.
Because,
we had a great time.
We couldn't go out and investigate Saturday night because it was pouring so bad. I had seen that there was this little bowling alley down there, and it had everything. It was like a
awesome.
one-stop
It was
shop.
awesome.
So we went there. We went bowling, and it was like $6.
It was like
for bowling.
It was $5 per person per game, and then it was like $3.
Yeah, for shoot. It was
It
cheap.
was nothing.
So we did that. We bowled a couple games. Then from there we went, and I think Jake was so excited. He bought so much beer and food, and he's like, I didn't even spend $30 yet. Like, he did good, man. He did good.
I don't even want to tell you how much money I spent in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Without a doubt.
So after we finished bowling, there was a laser tag thing. We're like, let's do laser tag. So we rented out the laser tag thing. We played laser tag. Again, it was $6.
Yeah, it was
For
$6
12
per
minutes.
person for 12 minutes, or you can do $20 gets you. I think it was like 6 games,
Yeah, it was like an hour.
and it's like 12 minutes per game. And I'm like, that's not bad per
Yeah.
person, if we wanted to do that. But we were lucked out because we got 3-on-3 with 6 people. We
Right.
did 3-on-3 the whole place to ourselves. So.
Yeah, it
Of
was
course,
awesome.
we did officers and NCOs versus enlisted. We kicked their ass. But,
Oh, I wish I was there.
but we had a good
So-
time. We had fun. We had a great time.
Hanson was a cheater. And then and then I rented a pool table, and then me and Hanson and Jake hung around and shot some pool for a while, and it was a great time.
It was awesome. I had a great time. Can't wait to go
Awesome
back.
time. I love Lake George.
Have you
I
been
love
to,
trips with the group.
You've been to Lake George, Brandon?
I've never been to Lake George.
Never been
It's
there?
an experience. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning by myself while everybody's sleeping. I shower for the day, and then I walk through the town while nobody's awake. I literally, when I say I walk through the town, I mean I don't come back till almost 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
out for a while.
for like 5 hours.
That sounds relaxing.
I walk, I get some coffee, I'll get myself a little breakfast, I hang out on the water, I watch the sunrise, and then I walk through the other end of town. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And then
it's great.
I wake up with the town, I'm talking to all the people. It's all, I'm Greeks in general do that kind of stuff. We're big people watchers.
Right,
We like to
right.
sit and watch how everybody interacts with everyone.
That's
so
awesome.
it's a great place to just get up and do that, and I love it. I didn't do it Sunday morning though because all
It was
that rain,
pouring out.
all that rain.
It was
So-
rough, but we had a great time. I can't
Love
wait
it.
to go back.
Love
so.
Gettysburg. I love Lake George. Love
Yeah.
Gettysburg. I love all of it. All of it's good.
So
I have
we
yet to go on a
got,
bad trip.
Our next upcoming trip is what we got: Wyndham, we did a Rhode Island and Massachusetts trip. Can't wait to go there. We're going to so many different places. That's coming up in July. That's coming real fast. We are going to, I think we're going to stop off at the Slater Mill, which is in Rhode Island. We're definitely going to hit one of the, hopefully one of the Newport mansions. I'm going to try to do at least one. I was told one mansion could take like all day long. I'm going to see how fast we can blow through them. Not that I want to go through them fast, but I want to hit up a couple of them. So if we can get through a couple, that'd be pretty cool. That's in Newport, Rhode Island. In Massachusetts, we're going to do, obviously we're going to go to Salem. We're going to go check out the old Danvers, which was the old Danvers Psych Center, and now it's unfortunately apartment complexes, but they did keep the main front structure, and the Potter's Field is still there, so we can still walk the grounds. Probably going to do the USS Massachusetts, and then we'll do a tour of the battleship there, and then Lizzie Borden House isn't far from there, so I'll probably head over there as well. So we have it's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be checking out. So I can't wait for that. That should be a lot of fun. So then we have, after that, then we go in August, we have Siege Week, which is in Lake George, a month later, which I can't wait.
Yep.
And then it's like I said, September right now we have nothing booked, but we're definitely going to book something, whether it be Burlington. I think Burlington's going to be a different trip.
Yeah,
Altogether.
There's definitely going to be a September trip. I just don't know where yet. It could. I'm thinking camping again. I would love to go back. Do one last camping trip for the season. And then Burlington Prison, we're talking about doing sometime between now and November. So I can't wait for that. And then October, we're going to Atlantic City. And we should be investigating, trying to set it up right now with the Absecon Lighthouse. We'll check that out. And then we usually have one of the days we go over by Cape May, historic Cape May, check out all those places. And then usually one of the other days, because it's like a 4-day trip, I usually go over by either Philadelphia or somewhere in Jersey, and we check out just a bunch of historical locations. So, but yeah, we have a ton of places that we're going to be putting on our website. So keep checking it out, www.liparanormalinvestigators.com, for all of our new locations and trips that keep getting posted. So, but that's what our schedule is looking like. A busy schedule, so I can't wait for it. It should be a lot of fun. We just got
a new DVR?
A new DVR system. Our old DVR system finally
shit the bed.
And we've had it for a while. You know, I got that DVR system at the end of 2006. It was extremely expensive. I think the DVR box itself was like a little over $200. Each of our cameras were $150. Then we had to get it didn't come in a hard drive, so we had to buy the hard drive, which was another like $80 or $90. At the time we bought the flat screen monitor, a little 19-inch flat screen monitor that ran $200. So our DVR system cost a shit ton of money back then, and it just crapped out a couple of weeks ago. So we had to purchase another one. The new one that we just got ran us $230, including tax and shipping. It's an 8-channel instead of 4-channel. Came with 4 cameras. We already have our 4 cameras, so the information on there, it's got like a terabyte drive.
1 terabyte. Yep.
We had, in our old one was only 250 gig.
Right.
So a big difference. It's a lot smaller. This thing is extremely smaller. So we're still trying to work out the kinks and figure out exactly how to use it. It's got a lot of new features. You know, you're talking from 2015 as opposed to back from 2006. A lot's changed over the years. So, but we'll work everything out. So we're excited to start using that again and figuring out all the new features this thing has. So
I know I was down here for 2.5 hours fixing it. Trying to figure out
should
how it runs.
Should be good to go. So, but yeah, otherwise, not much else. We've got some new members coming in. One of our new members here, he's on probation right now, Brandon. If you want to just give us a little intro to yourself and why you're here and, what you plan to accomplish.
Yeah, I love the paranormal. I was always fascinated by it. I lived in a haunted house that really had a lot of crazy experiences that really made me want to just pursue it. I used to be terrified. I wouldn't sleep at night. I actually became nocturnal. But now I love it. I love, I want to have those experiences now on my terms.
Right.
And that's why I really got into it, because I really wanted to, I want to document it, because, every experience I've had has been, just me or someone I know or not. I want to be able to have an experience and be able to look at the evidence and say, look, like I had that experience. Like
right.
You could look at it.
Sure.
So definitely why I wanted to get into the paranormal, and it's been a good time so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been doing this for a little over 12 and a half years now, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't give it up for anything. No regrets here. Absolutely none. I've given up a lot, but I love this field. It's great. All the trips we take and just our group and how close everyone is, the bonds that everyone has together. I wouldn't give it up for anything. It's such an amazing thing, and our group is so advanced. You know, we're really out there. Our name is really out there. We know our shit. You know, we put a lot of time into training and everything. But yeah, it's such an awesome field and just great. I love doing it. So, but welcome aboard.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But what else we got?
Well, I was going to mention a couple things we have coming up here.
Upcoming events.
We have a couple upcoming events. Well, we have an overnight schedule. We're doing all-night investigating, but that's not for you people to know, so.
Not yet. Until after.
I'll tell you about it after. But we got a really fun night planned ahead for that, so looking forward to it. And then, like Mike said, these guys are going to Wyndham next month. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go, so boo. But we do have, if you're in Long Island and you're in the area, we do have a lecture that we're going to be doing on July 24th, and that is going to be at the Sachem Public Library, and that's from 7 p.m. to 8:30. Again, that's July 24th, and I don't remember what the lecture is we're doing. I have written down Program 3. I don't remember which Program 3 is, but I'll look it up later and figure out what presentation we're doing. But yeah, that's not until July 24th, but I'm going to be promoting it from now until then, so if you guys are available and you want to check us out, see what one of our lectures are like, this is the perfect opportunity. I don't know if there's a cost, if the library is charging.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but feel free to reach out to Sachem Public Library and find out. I guess I should find out if they're charging people so I can tell them. And then in the first week in August 1st and 2nd, that's a Saturday and a Sunday, we are going to be having a table and holding 3 presentations or panels at Haunt Fair. It's typically a haunted house convention where they are looking for, haunted actors that dress up and they sell, like some of the motorized equipment and stuff like that, but they're really trying to branch out this year, and they wanted to give people something a little more, I guess, tangible or real to kind of sink their teeth into. So we'll be there. We're going to be doing a panel on demonology, I know. We're going to be doing a panel on haunted places on Long Island and the equipment we use, and then one is going to be like an introduction to who we are and what the group is about, just so people can get to know us. And so that's August 1st and 2nd. And that is going to be at the Upsky Hotel in Huntington. So you guys can check that out. Just go to hauntfair.com. I think it's haunt-fair.com. And you guys can see it. There's right on the main page, it says Paranormal Activity. Click that, and it's a whole page dedicated to what we have going on there. So check it out, and that's it.
Good stuff.
That's some events that we have coming up, along with trips and cases and house investigations and all that other fun stuff. And then we just want to go through and answer a couple of fan questions, though, before we wrap the show for tonight. A little bit of a different format. It was kind of just, we missed you. How you doing? This is what we've been up to. And then we'll get back to status quo next week. Yeah. So, but yeah, so this week we have a couple of fan questions we just want to take some time to answer. And the first one comes from Sarah M., and she says, do you believe in out-of-body experiences?
Yeah, I definitely believe that out-of-body experiences definitely can occur. Not to be confused with sleep paralysis. I think a lot of people that claim to have out-of-body experiences are actually going through sleep paralysis. So it's something that they definitely want to look into before you just jump to the conclusion. But yeah, I definitely believe that it does exist. I personally have never gone through an out-of-body experience. I don't know if you guys have or not.
No, not me.
No.
I know we're meditating.
I've been asleep and half
Okay.
awake. I used to meditate, but I've never really had an out-of-body experience out of it.
You have to consistently meditate.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to meditate today and have the out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
I know I did it a lot in college because I was taking a keto and meditation was a really big part of it, but I haven't done it in a long time. I never really had an out-of-body experience from it. Did you?
I've had one, yeah. I actually took a meditation class at an unknown location where I was in college. And
They give you little tabs beforehand that you take?
oh yeah,
Just to help you relax.
No, it was like a martial arts type class, and
Yeah.
they make you meditate for. It was I think an hour and a half class twice a week, and you meditate for half an hour, and then I did it for like a whole semester, and then I continue to do it afterwards. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
it does help with like stress and.
It does. Oh, absolutely. It really does. Finding your center and just letting in all the good air and letting all the bad stuff out.
Right.
It's really it's a fantastic thing.
But apparently, if you could like reach that level, like you could see yourself from basically like a third person view.
That's pretty crazy.
It's hard for me to meditate because the way I meditate, the way I learned how to meditate was leaning on my knees and sitting back on the heels of my feet. And, you know, you're trying to find your center and get comfortable, and you're like, God, my feet are uncomfortable. Just takes you right back out of it.
It's like completely laid down.
Oh, okay.
But I had trouble like when I first started doing things out. And you just gotta really focus on the breathing.
Oh.
That's it.
Go talk to Abby. It's like I'm constantly meditating.
Nice.
My wife is like, your kids are talking to you, don't you hear them? I'm like, what? No, I did not hear a word.
Yeah.
And it's true, I don't. Sometimes I
funny.
do zone out like that, but
Nice.
I need to apply it to the right things.
What else we got?
Second question comes from Kelly K. She says, is there any serious harm in using the Ouija board? I think we've had this before, but...
Yes.
Or-
Harming the Ouija board, absolutely. The Ouija board itself is not harmful. It's just a board game. It's the way it's used. And a lot of people think, well, how can that happen? Well, basically what's happening is you have the board, you have the planchette, and everyone's putting their hand on it. And you're allowing the spirit that's around you enter into your body to move that piece. That's the problem with it, is because you're allowing what's ever there to enter into your body to move it. So you don't know whether it's a good spirit, a bad spirit, a demon, or whatever. That's the problem, is that you can't tell the difference until it's too late. And there's been a lot of claims of just negativity coming from it. I've never heard any good stories coming from the Ouija board. So, and I've been through quite a few demonology lectures. They've even said, you know, you can use it in your 20s. Something might not happen until you're in your 40s. You know, when you're talking about the demonic world, there's no such thing as time in that world. There's no such thing as 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days in a year. They got all the time in the world. And they're going to strike when the right time is to strike. And sometimes it's 20 years later. So, yeah, it's my advice. If it could be bad, just leave it alone.
I just want to jump in. Remember that Charlie thing that people were talking about? Wasn't that I think I was reading somewhere saying that it was what's it called for a movie? It was like I think they have some kind of movie coming out that deals with that. And so what they did is they released these videos, these fake videos, to get people thinking that it was real when it's part of a movie thing. Is that true?
The Charlie thing?
The Charlie thing?
I don't think it's part-
I thought it was for like a movie or something.
I just started seeing people post it on the internet.
I remember somebody saying it's a hoax for a movie that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, I just wanted to jump in when we're talking about Ouija
Yeah,
boards.
no,
I remember
definitely.
that was coming up recently in
I know
discussion.
that's been a big discussion.
So, yeah. Oh, they got this, just to jump in really quick before we answer this last question. They have this new video game coming out. I posted it on our Loopy Facebook page where we all talk to each other. And it's a video game that you play on your phone.
Okay.
And you play it in the dark in your house
Okay.
through your camera viewfinder. And it scans your room while you're scanning, and it's got like a radio on, like somebody's trying to talk to you.
Okay.
And you're playing through your phone, you shut all the lights off in your house, all you have is this dim cell phone light.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it'll be like, it'll like start making static, and then it'll drop out. And it'll kick back on. It'll be like a fucking demon or a monster in your fucking hallway. And while you're scanning, it like remembers where your stuff is, so you can't see, but it'll make it look like your picture frame falls down and stuff
shit.
like
That's
that.
insane.
That's
It's
crazy.
pretty
Wow.
crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it comes out in January. I will be buying that and being like, "Hey guys, I got this new equipment that we can use during investigating. Why don't you check this out?"
That's crazy. Wow.
Try this app, yeah, it works.
It looks fantastic. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. Night Terrors or something like that. It might be called Night Terrors or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
So last but not least question comes from Lenny, who asks, what would be the most effective in removing spirits in the home?
That's a good question. And there's many different answers here. There's not one thing that's more effective than the other. It's all about the homeowner and what they're experiencing. Everyone's different in their cases. And some people like to go towards religion and use their religion towards it to try to get it out. Other people like to go more of the spiritual aspect, using sage and salting and trying to clear it out that way. So I haven't really seen anything better than the other. Whatever works for you is what's going to work. I know if you're talking more on a demonic level, you're going to have to go more towards religion from what I was taught, what I was told. A spiritual cleansing is just going to put a Band-Aid over the problem. It's not going to take care of the problem, where having like an exorcist come in and do a full-blown exorcism on your home, that's going to take care of the problem. So, but when you're talking about just regular spirits, either or, really. I mean, depending on what your belief systems are and which route you want to take. There's many different ways to do it. Just whatever you decide to do, try not to do it yourself. It is a little detailed, and by doing things yourself and not knowing what you're doing, you can mess things up. You can make it a lot worse than what it really is. So make sure if you do have a paranormal team come in that they have experience in doing cleansings and stuff like that, and even if they don't and they have a network of people that they can use, that's fine. At least they're respectful enough that they know that, all right, it's not something we do, we have to get somebody else to come in here. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times we've done spiritual cleansings and they've worked. There's been times where we brought religion and spiritual and kind of do like a mix between the two, and that's worked. So, like I said, it's all about the client. It's what their belief systems are, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you guys want more information on cleansings and how to and which way we kind of veer towards, feel free to email any of us. My name is Mike at liparanormalinvestigators.com. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay. And that's all we have for today, guys. We had a fun time talking about all the things we've been doing and doing. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to our experiences and hearing about the places that we've gone and stuff like that. If you want to check us out, as always, you can follow us on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, search Long Island Paranormal Investigators. We are on Twitter. Our handle is at LI Paranormal. You can also go on our Facebook page. We have a Lippy store in there. If you want to buy any merchandise, you can just check it out right through our Facebook page. And we are also on Google+. So you can find us on Google+. Again, Long Island Paranormal Investigators. So thank you again for joining us this week on the Ghost News Network, and hope you come back next week for another great show. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Toodles.